You heard it to start the show. The Bengals do not consider themselves underdogs. And honestly, why should they? Joe Burrow is on the verge of punching Cincinnati's ticket to its second straight AFC Championship game. And the swagger and moxie from Burrow, from Zach Taylor. Listen, I get it because this team is on a heater. They are playing excellent ball, supremely confident. I love the cocky nature, and I mean that as a positive, in what Joe Burrow brings to the table. And I love the us versus the world mentality from these Cincinnati Bengals who feel disrespected, starting with Joe Mixon, who did the coin flip celebration a few weeks ago when the league was going to have a coin flip to determine if the Baltimore-Cincy playoff game, the wild card game, would be in Baltimore or Cincy if Baltimore won Week 18. Heck, they're annoyed that they started selling tickets for Championship Sunday if it's Buffalo and Kansas City. Here's what matters to me in terms of the X's and O's and the tangibles. The injuries. Outs, outs, outs. 3 of the 5 bodyguards here for Joe Burrow, not going to play. And that, to me, zaps the Bengals' chances of winning. Now, remember last year, Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times. 9 times. In the divisional round against Tennessee. And I knew that was going to happen, and I picked Cincinnati to win because the other team was quarterbacked by Ryan Tannehill. This time around, they're going up against a team that has a high-powered offense. I think it matters in the trenches with those injuries because Matt Milano's a stud. Leslie Frazier's defense is great. These 3 new starters are going to have to deal with that crowd noise and the ambiance. So I can appreciate the swagger, the confidence, the moxie, the ridiculous talent that Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Boyd, what these guys bring to the table. But I think on the road in Buffalo, boy, they should be an underdog. This is Josh Allen's time to shine. Sunday, 3 p.m., CBS, divisional round against the Cincinnati Bengals. And look, we referenced last year, Joe Burrow and the Bengals, even after Burrow got sacked 9 times, they were still able to win because the other team was quarterbacked by Ryan Tannehill. Well, now the offensive line issues for Cincy are going to matter because when Josh Allen gets the ball, he's going to score. Look at that. He had a bad game last week. And this is included in the stats. Think about that. I mean, these stats include the Miami Dolphin game. That's crazy. Josh Allen is a superstar. I'm telling you right now. Josh Allen is going to throw for 4 touchdowns. Gabe Davis, who worked extra on the jugs machine this week, is going to have a monster game. Stephon Diggs is going to be absolutely unstoppable. I think Stephon Diggs is the best receiver left in the postseason. The crowd is going to be all sorts of fired up. Look, this is not a little engine that could situation. The only way the Buffalo Bills season is successful if they go to the Super Bowl and win it. And Josh Allen is absolutely going to dominate the Cincinnati Bengals coming up on CBS on Sunday. Pretty much the message you would expect from Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, right? Trust the process. Now, don't get me wrong. All the pressure in the world is on Jalen Hurts and company Saturday nights against the New York Football Giants because there is a major I don't know quotient for Jalen Hurts. I know he's off the injury report. We know that. But are they going to call the designed runs? Is the shoulder okay? To me, the bloom is off the rose when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, they were absolutely dominant earlier in the season. When Washington beat them, it was kind of that moment of, oh, okay, they're not invincible. And then you saw how they limp into the playoffs. And Nick Sirianni's team without Jalen Hurts, they lost to Dallas. They lost at home to New Orleans and Andy Dalton, which is illegal in most states. And they almost lost to Davis Webb and the backup Giants in Week 18. So I think that if this game is close, and I expect it to be close, and if it's competitive early, and if the Giants can jump out to a lead early on, I really think that we are looking at all the pressure in the world on the Eagles. Now, don't misinterpret. I think Philly's going to win. I think the play in the trenches is too great. Best offensive line in the game. Defensive line is excellent. Love Dallas Goedert's coming up on Saturday night. I think that Brown and Smith, the receiver position, these guys always get it done against the Giants. And Boston Scott owns New York. It's wild, but it's crazy and true. But I think that Jalen Hurts is a legit variable. And that's not good if this game is competitive and the boo birds and the anxiety comes out, whether it's the fans, the players, or the coaches for the Eagles on Saturday night. Welcome back, Time to Shine, a Friday staple on the Football Friday edition of Time to Shine. Love or loathe, starting with Dak Prescott. Love or loathe, Dak is going to dominate Sunday like he did against Tampa. Loathe. Look, I love Dak. And I was thrilled for him, but the Bucs stink, and that needs to be discussed. Dak Prescott pitched the perfect game. Give him credit. 4 touchdowns in the air, spread the ball around brilliantly, ran one in on that naked bootleg. He was on fire. He's going against this defense, which is unbelievable. Nick Bosa is the best player on defense in the entire league. They're brilliantly coached on defense under DeMeco Ryans. The linebackers are tremendous. The DBs make plays. I think that Dak Prescott is going to go back to the Dak Prescott that we saw final 7 games of the regular season when he threw 11 interceptions. I mean, we're not that far removed from the grotesque no-show against Washington. So I think this is going to be a 2-interception kind of performance for Dak Prescott coming up in the divisional round against that number 1 defense, Nick Bosa and the 49ers. To the AFC, love or loathe, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the divisional round. Love. I gave you my sizzling list yesterday with Mahomes at the top, and I never want you to sleep on the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's a win away from making the AFC title game again. I mean, 3 guarantees in life, death, taxes, and Patrick Mahomes plays on Championship Sunday. I mean, he just had an MVP season. He's got a really good matchup against an underrated Jacksonville defense. I want to stress that. Jags front 7 is absolutely legit, but the postseason is Patrick Mahomes' time to shine. I think he's going to have a brilliant game. I think Travis Kelce is going to have a monster game. And Patrick Mahomes is absolutely going to rock, roll, deliver the goods, especially when you consider Mahomes and Andy Reid off the bye. If you're a Chiefs fan, this is special. Speaking of greatness, love or loathe, the divisional round is the best weekend in all of sports. Love. And I've been saying this forever on Time to Shine. Look, the weekend with the NCAA tournament, it's always great, but not as great as the first couple of days, Thursday, Friday. The divisional round always delivers because you get the 1 seeds, you get the great teams, you get the great coaches, the phenomenal quarterbacks. I mean, you get the Eagles, you get the Chiefs, juggernauts, you get great stories, hot teams with the Giants and the Jaguars. I mean, I think Bills, Bengals, Niners, Cowboys, in essence, the winners of those games are going to the Super Bowl. So those are pseudo Championship Sunday kind of contests. Look, I love that October weekend, first weekend in October where you got the baseball playoffs and college football and the NFL. I love the Masters Saturday and Sunday. That's always incredible. I love when you have all the sports coincide in the month of October at the end of the month and it's the World Series. That's always great. There's nothing like the divisional rounds in the postseason. If the Bills and Chiefs win this weekend, we're going to have a neutral site AFC championship. But what if this was the norm? Love or loathe, conference championship games always being at neutral sites. No. Loathe. Look, this is happening because of circumstance, because of an awful circumstance. And the NFL made a big deal today, sending out a press release. All the tickets are sold out in 24 hours. Half the stadium Bills fans, half the stadium Chiefs fans. If in fact this happens, this cannot be the norm. No. I want home field advantage. You play all year for home field advantage. This is what matters to the players, to the coaches. Even when a road team goes in and wins, like Joe Burrow last year on CBS, you always want Championship Sunday in front of the home fans. Welcome back, Time to Shine. Time to take your pick with the great Will Brinson, who picked up a game on me last week. Will, I'm putting an asterisk next to my 2-4 record because, you know, the Chargers. Bag it, Brandon Staley, you fraud. Let's get into the divisional round. Starting with Saturday's game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs. KC is favored by 9 points. Will Brinson, take your pick.
Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm the only person, as I point out, like every chance I get, the only person to pick them to win the division in the national media. They did it. I picked them to beat the Chargers, and this is where the train ends. Sorry to all of my relatives, Aunt Susan and Uncle Rick, going out to Kansas City. Probably going to be disappointed. Andy Reid off the bye. I predict, Schein, that he runs the Philly special on his old pal Doug Peterson as he runs up the score in this playoff game.
That's a hell of a prediction, Will Brinson. All right, I'll pick up the slack for you. Duval Jags with the points. Now, I'm not going to get crazy here. I talked about Mahomes. He's going to be the best quarterback in the divisional round, best quarterback in the postseason. Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce, they're going to win. But I think the Jags are going to hang. I think 5 minutes ago, fourth quarter, this is a ball game. Trevor Lawrence is an absolute killer. Big game for Lawrence, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Travis Etienne. I think Evan Ingram has a good matchup in this one. Chiefs win, but give me the points with Jacksonville and my guy Doug Peterson. Night game on Saturday. Giants traveled to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Philly favored by 7.5 points. Will Brinson, take your pick.
So the one thing that everybody is going to be on this weekend in the NFL in terms of making picks, making bets, a teaser between the Chiefs and the Eagles. You get the Eagles down to 1.5. You get the Chiefs down to 2.5. Maybe you do a 6.5-point teaser down to 1. Whatever it is, that's going to be the most popular thing in the entire NFL. It worries me a little bit, but I feel like it's going to get there. Mainly because Philly is just too much for the Giants. It's been a great story. Brian Dable deserves love for Coach of the Year. You have these skill position guys who are playing well with Danny Dimes. Looks like a franchise quarterback, and he get $30 million this offseason. And even the Eagles, man, they are going to truck stick this team. The Giants, you look at their schedule, they haven't won a ton of games like down the stretch and really only beat bad teams. The Eagles have a healthy Hurts after the bye. This one could get ugly, I think, Schein.
I'm going to take the Giants with the points, Will Brinson, because to me it's about coaching. Look, the beauty of the Giants, who are playing in the divisional round of the postseason, this is year one of a massive rebuild. Don't lose sight of that. I mean, I think the Giants have a major coaching advantage with Daboll and with Wink Martindale and Mike Kafka. And I think Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, they're going to make plays. I talked earlier in the show about the I don't know quotient. Nobody knows when it comes to the health of Jalen Hurts. Philly's going to win, but give me the Giants with the points. Will, you're fired up. I'm fired up. America's fired up. Canada's pumped up. Bills Bengals Sunday, 3 p.m. CBS and Paramount Plus. Buffalo favored by 5.5 points. Will Brinson, take your pick.
Real quick tangent here, Schein. The NFL really did the Bengals dirty. They were going to make them have a coin flip with the Ravens if they didn't beat them in Week 18. The Bills get a neutral site game against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game if they advance, but the Bengals didn't get an opportunity to win the 2 seed, and now they have to go to Buffalo. I think that chip is going to be on their shoulder. I think they're mad about it. And I tell you what, Joe Burrow, man, he's freezing cold. He has ice in his veins. He's the coldest killer in all of football, maybe all of sports. I don't fade Joe Burrow in big games, even if his offensive line is banged up. You're going to see them come out passing early, passing often, quick hitters to get the Bills defense on its heels. I think Cincinnati goes into Buffalo and wins this one outright.
Wow, Will Brinson. I'm taking the Bills to win and cover. And why not? Because we pointed out last week, I've taken the Bills to win and cover every single football game they played this year on a Football Friday here on Time to Shine. Listen, everything that you said about the chip on the shoulder and Joe Mixon's angry and Joe Burrow, we're not the underdog. We talked about that earlier in the show. I agree with you. That's not lip service, by the way. That's a way of life right now in Cincinnati. And if I was a Bengals fan or a Bengal player, I'd be livid too. Will, I just can't get past the matchup in the trenches. With the Bengals offensive line, it's a disaster. Crowd noise, which I'm sure is going to fuel the ire and frustration of all the Bengals fans. But Matt Milano is going to absolutely dominate. Josh Allen, 5 touchdowns in this one. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills by a touchdown. Final game of the divisional round has the Cowboys traveling to San Francisco with the 49ers favored by 4. Will Brinson take a pick?
I don't know if you heard Mike McCarthy today on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, but they were like, yeah, Mike, you're the underdog. He's like, what? We're the underdog? He's like, are you serious? They're like, yeah. It's like, of course you're the underdog. You're the 5 seed going on the road to play the 2 seed. Like, San Francisco's like, what? Did he think he was supposed to, like, Vegas thinks he's winning this game? That means he's not even playing, then no one believes in this chip. It's a free chip when you're an underdog in the divisional round. What are you thinking, Big Mike? I tell you what, this San Fran defense, too good. Too many weapons on offense for the 49ers as well. Brock Purdy, a little shaky last week early on, steadied himself, really got composed, played well. I don't care if he doesn't throw the ball down the field. He doesn't have to. Get it to CMC and Debo at the line of scrimmage. Cowboys defense is good. Niners offense better, and the Niners defense is going to be a problem, especially if Jason Peters doesn't play in this game or is limited.
Listen, we're on the same page on this one. This will be our first agreement, and look, I think this Niners team is special. I think that they're going to go to the Super Bowl. We've been saying that for a long time. We said it since the Christian McCaffrey trade, and they're 11-0 since he's been the starting running back. And McCaffrey is a star, and Brock Purdy is absolutely everything. And Deebo Samuel, the king of the yak. Brandon Ayuk is going to have a monster game. George Kittle the same. And that's just the offense. The defense is obviously, as you said, the best in the business. San Francisco, what a treat. Niners win. Niners cover. Will, as always, great stuff. Enjoy the best weekend in all the sports. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.